All right, shalom. This is the ISUPK Wednesday law class. Also, remember to check out Commanding General Yohanna's radio show, which is Monday, 2 a.m. UK time. We also have classes here in the UK. We have classes here Monday through Friday. So we have classes at 394 Lodge Road, B18, 5PW. Those are on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's from the school, 394 Lodge Road, B18, 5PW. We also have an online class, the Hebrew class, which is Friday. That's 7 p.m. till 9. Also, Saturday, we have the Sabbath service and camp, if the weather permits. And if everything's to war, then we at camp on the Saturdays. So we have a busy schedule here. On Friday night, 9 p.m., we have the radio show On The Ends. So we have On The Ends on Friday evening, where you can phone in, you can ask your questions, you can get the latest stories. Hey, give me 1 second. All right, Shalom Israel, let's go. So we're going to start off in the book of Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 17. Also, any questions, just type them in and we'll get to them. So any questions, just type them in and we'll get to them. Hold on, give me 1 second. The book of Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 17. Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. So you ain't supposed to hate your brother. Why? Because we've gone a long time hating one another, when really we all we got, man. All these other nations is against us. All these other nations hate us. So why would we hate each other? The Lord gave us a system in place where what? We can deal with each other, man. A system in place where if we've got issues, we can resolve those issues. Whereas we don't need to hold on to the anger. Now, that's the kind of stuff we would do in the world. Now, once you come into the truth, if there's any issues, there's a way to handle them issues, man. There's a way to deal with them issues. You don't have to keep them issues and to yourself and be mad at your brother and be mad at your sister and all of those kind of things. Now, we know the laws of God and there's ways that we deal with things. We must go to one another, man, and speak about these issues and speak about these problems and solve them. Because if you don't, what happens? Something minor turns into something big, man. If you don't address them small issues, it turns into something big. And before you know it, everybody hates everybody, man. So what do we need to do? We need to nip it in the bud straight away. Any issues, we must go to one another. We must go to one another. We must speak about these issues, man. And if we can't see eye to eye after them issues that we spoke about, nobody believes they're wrong. What are we supposed to do? We're supposed to go to council, man. That's what we do. We arrange a council, and then you go to councils, and then in the council, there'll be somebody who's right and somebody who's wrong. And whatever the council decides, that's the rightful outcome, man. That's the outcome of the Lord. Now, you can't be, now you shouldn't leave the council still with animosity. Like, forget that I'm in the right. No one heard my side. Forget that no one heard my side and I'm in the right and they're choosing that. No. That's not how it works. If you believe this is the house of God and the men in here are men of God, whatever they say in that council stands, man. Whatever the result of that council is, that's your answer. Now, at first, you probably had a qualms with someone and you thought you was right. They thought it was right. And that's why you couldn't agree. Why? Because you both thought you was right. So because both of you think you're right, what do? You go to a council and the council will determine who's right and who's wrong, and they will determine the outcome. And then the outcome of that will be whatever the outcome is. And then from there, you leave it there, man, and it dies right there. It's supposed to die right there, man. Hey, Shalom, Yab Shabbat.
Shalom, Yab Shabbat.
You turn on the speaker, so lock in. So lock in, say something, Hakim. Let me see if we can hear.
1 2 1 2.
Yeah, most of cars can hear. So now, that's what the council's for, man. Any issues we have, you go to H&D alone first. If you can't find no middle ground, you then go to the council. And the council is what? The council's not there to ruin your life. The council's not there to make our life harder than it needs to be. The council's there to put us on the right track, man. Why? Because if you and the brother or you and the sister can't agree, in that council, things is going to be straightened out. And then after that, we're supposed to leave that council unemotional, man. We're supposed to leave that council. Now, if you was wrong in the council, you're meant to leave the council and be like, wow, I thought I was right. And in the council, it was proven that I'm wrong. And you just accept it, man. What you don't want to do is go home and still be emotional, thinking I was right and nobody listens to me. Because once you do that, that's Satan in your mind, man. That's Satan in your mind telling you, look, everyone's against you, just leave this place. And before you know it, you're going to hold on to them emotions and the animosity, and you're going to end up leaving the truth, man. Whereas if you just let everything go, okay, went to the council said it was wrong, you let it go from there, you have a clear conscience, man. And then you and that brother or sister, you can rebuild from there, man. You can rebuild from there. You can both be like, you know what? All right, then that's the outcome. This is what it is. And then from there, you can rebuild that strange relationship. But if you hold on to the animosity and that anger and that dislike for someone, everything they do is going to annoy you, man. You're going to hate them and wish them harm and hold grudges. So lucky I can get me Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 17. So you're going to hold on to grudges and all of those kind of things. Whereas the Lord don't want us to deal with one another like that. Especially being in here, we all we got. In here, we all we got. Imagine the rest of the world outside of here hates us, man.
Right.
The rest of the world outside of this place hates us. So imagine if we can't even get it right inside here. Listen, just think of it. If we can't get it right inside here, why would the Lord send more men? It's not going to happen, man. If we can't get it right inside here, why would the Lord send more men and more sisters for us to ruin their life? It's not going to happen, man. If we hate one another and don't love each other, then the school's not going to grow, man. It's that simple.
That's right.
Because this is a place where we're supposed to love each other. And if we can't love each other in a place where we're supposed to love each other, guess what's going to happen? The school's not going to grow, man.
Right.
Why would the Lord... Listen, it's our job to fix black people and love them. Why would the Lord send more black people here if we're not going to fix them, if we're just going to hate each other? Then everybody might as well stay outside there, man. Everybody might as well stay outside there, and we might as well lock the doors and say we're not open, man. This is supposed to be a place where we love one another. And if we can't love one another in each other, how do we expect anybody else to come in here, man? They're going to be like, well, or that would mean our love's fake. People are supposed to see our love and how real our love is towards one another. Now, are we going to get on every single day? No, we're not. But people are supposed to see our love and be like, damn, I need to be in that place because they love one another. Now, if we can't love one another, everyone's going to see us and be like, why would I be there? They can't even get it right inside there. So we need to get things right inside here, man. And it starts off with what? Not being emotional, man. It starts off with any issues, we address them issues. Because if you don't address them issues, guess what happens? You go to someone, oh, I can't stand this person and blah, 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 blah. And it keeps going on and on and on and on and on. And then before you know it, the whole school comes to nothing. So, Lucky, read that for me, Hakayan.
Got it on council. Leviticus 19, verse 17.
Lucky, go ahead.
Leviticus 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
And that's hating your brother in your mind, man. We're supposed to see one another and be happy to see each other, man. We're supposed to be happy to see one another. Like, damn, it's good to see. Think about it. You're at your slavery for the whole day, around people that you can't stand. And then after that, when you see your brothers, you're supposed to be like, yes, man, this gives me strength. I've been waiting to see these lot. This gives me strength, man. Like, we're supposed to be one and tight and all of those kind of things. And that's what we're doing here, man. We be one and tight. So people in the world see how tight we are and say, damn, I better get on down to that place. Go ahead.
Kadawan Khan. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
And you correct your neighbor, man. Now you're offended about anything. You just, say, look, man, this offended me. And how it goes is, if someone believes they didn't offend you, then you go to council, man. And then in the council, we'll find out if you offended the brother. If you did offend him, you say, all right, so lucky I was wrong. I didn't see it that way. And then if the person, if it's deemed in the council, they didn't offend you, then you be like, all right, maybe I'm, maybe I was a little emotional on that one. And then what happens? We dap it up and, have a drink and go from there, man. Because at the end of the day, we all we got, man.
That's right.
And Christ only had what? 12 men. Imagine if all these men hated each other. Imagine if all these men hated each other. It wouldn't make no sense, man. People are meant to see these men, how these men love one another. And that will make more people want to join and be like, damn, that kind of love there is genuine. Like, all of that fake love, honestly, it leads to nothing, man. So, Lucky, go ahead.
Kadawan Khan. And not suffer sin upon him.
And not suffer sin upon him, man. Listen, you ain't supposed to wish harm on your brother. You ain't supposed to, like if they're doing something wrong, you're supposed to say, man, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. Pull them aside, hey, you shouldn't be doing that or whatever. Or just tell them afterwards, man. But don't leave them know they're doing wrong, knowing whereas sin leads to death. Breaking God's laws leads to death. So you ain't supposed to leave your brother to walk down that road. You're supposed to say, yo, what you're doing is wrong. Don't you get me? But go ahead. Is there any more on that?
That's the end of 17, but 18 I could go into if you want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Kadawan Khan, sir. Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
And we ain't supposed to hold grudges. Because when you hold grudges, it makes you extra emotional, man. You hold grudges, whereas we shouldn't hold grudges against one another. We shouldn't be emotional, man. Imagine half the time when you're holding a grudge, most people don't even know that you got a problem with them, man. Imagine you've got a problem with somebody and they don't even know you got a problem with them. Listen, man, we ain't supposed to hold grudges. And why Satan will jump in your mind and he will make you hold that grudge forever, man. He will jump in your mind and tell you how right you are and how wrong everybody is to you. And before you know it, that's 1 foot out the door, man. Holding a grudge against your brother is you 1 foot out the door. Because if this is a place of love and now you're turning this into a place of grudges, it's a matter of time before the Lord opens the door, man, and says, all right, then it's time to remove whoever's holding the grudge. Because why? If this is a place of love and love ain't being love ain't being in the place where it's supposed to be, then the Lord's gonna remove whoever's incapable of that love, man. Because this is a place where we ain't supposed to hold grudges, where we ain't supposed to hate each other, where we ain't supposed to harm each other, where we ain't supposed to steal from each other, man. This is the little sanctuary of the Lord. This is a place of peace and love and safety and refuge. That's what this place is supposed to be, man. This is a place of peace, love, safety, and refuge. So, Lucky, go ahead, Hakian.
Kadawan Khan, sir. But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
But thou shalt what?
Thou shalt love thy neighbor as
Thou
thyself.
shalt love thy neighbor, man. We're supposed to love each other. And if we don't love each other, guess what? Maybe we just don't believe in the Bible, man. Maybe we just don't believe in God. Maybe it's all lip service. Maybe we don't believe in the words of God. Because if the words of God says we're supposed to love each other and love our neighbor, and we don't do those things, then clearly we don't believe in the word of God. Listen, man. I know it sounds a lot easier than it is. Obviously, we've grown up in a world where holding grudges is the way forward, hating one another is the way forward. And they tell you that's what? Human nature. But the thing is this, in here, we ain't human, man. We're superhuman, man. That's the difference. In here, we're superhuman. We don't do what regular humans do, man. Regular humans hate each other and can't stand each other and want to kill each other. In here, we're better than that, man. We're superhuman. We're going to address these issues. If we do fall out, we're going to make up. Of course, people's going to do stuff that you don't like. It happens all the time. Someone's going to do something that you don't like, man. And you might be mad as hell on that day, but to hold that grudge for too long, you're only hurting yourself, man. You're only giving yourself over to Satan to use you. That's all you're doing. You end up giving yourself over to Satan, and Satan will use you to do some stuff you wouldn't normally do if you wasn't holding that grudge. So, like, is there any more on that, Hakim?
Sir.
All right, drop that. Get me John chapter 15 and verse 8.
Come on. John 15, verse 8. Herein is my Father glorified.
Go ahead.
That ye bear much fruit.
That what?
That ye bear much fruit.
Because herein is my Father glorified, that ye bear much fruit. And how do you bear much fruit? By doing what God tells us to do, man.
Mm-hmm.
By us serving the Lord, by us loving who the Lord told us to love. Christ said he hopes we bear much fruit. And that's what we're trying to do, man. Bear much fruit. Meaning what? We're trying to get brothers and sisters in the truth. That's what we're trying to do. Go ahead.
Come. So shall ye be my disciples.
Go ahead.
Come. As the Father have loved me, so have I loved you.
Christ said, as the Father have loved me, so have I loved you. Go ahead.
Come. Continue ye in my love.
Do what?
Continue ye in my love.
Continue ye in my love, man. Christ said, continue in my love. Christ said, the way the Father loved me, I've loved you, and you must continue in my love. Meaning the way Christ loved us, we must love our brothers the same way, man. We have to continue in that love. Lest we be like the Christian church where everybody hates each other. We need to continue in that love, man. Go ahead. Christ said we his disciples and we must continue in that love. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 10. If ye keep my commandments, ye shall abide in my love.
If what?
If you keep my commandments, ye shall abide in my love.
If we keep them commandments, we're going to abide in Christ's love, man. And one of them commandments is love one another. Now, loving each other doesn't mean we're not going to fall out. It just means when we do fall out, we're going to get it right, man. It means when we do fall out, we're going to, sort it out and resolve it and move past it. We're not going to hold resentment and hate one another and all of those kind of things. Go ahead.
Come. Even as I have kept my Father's commandments.
Even as I have kept my Father's commandments. Christ kept the commandments of God and he gave us a commandment to love one another. And that's why we do that in here, because this is the place of brotherhood, man. We meant to love one another. This is the place of brotherhood, sisterhood. This is the place where black people find refuge and safety. This is the place where you can let your children run around and they won't be harmed, man. This is the place where your wife can be and no next man's going to be trying to talk to her on the side, getting her phone number and all of those kind of things, man. This is a place of safety. Go ahead.
Come. And abide in his love. These things have I spoken unto you, that my joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be fulfilled. Salakia. And that your joy might be full.
Go ahead.
This is my commandment, that we love one another.
That what?
That we love one another.
Commandment is that we love one another. Now Christ is speaking to these brothers, man, that is with. He's saying the commandment is that we love one another. Go ahead.
As I have loved you.
As I have loved you. And whenever Christ's disciples done something he didn't agree with, he corrected them, man. He corrected them. And we need to love one another. Because if we don't, guess what's going to happen? Satan will jump in our head, man. And before you know it, we're going to be out the truth, man. We're going to be doing our own thing. What you see is everyone that left the truth over an issue with somebody. Oh, I had an issue with this person. Whereas we have counsel in place to resolve them issues, man. But they let Satan jump in their mind and make them believe that they're so right and everybody else is so wrong. Christ said, I have a commandment that you love one another, man. And when you read the Bible, guess who didn't love one another? Judas, man. Judas didn't love his brothers. Now, you need to examine yourself and say, do I have the same spirit of Christ, or do I have the spirit of Judas, man? Do I love my brothers and sisters, or do I not love my brothers and sisters? You need to examine yourself and say, do I have the spirit of Judas? Do I have the spirit of Judas where I got an issue with someone, but I'm not going to mention it. I'm just going to hold a grudge? Because that's what Judas did. Judas had issues and didn't say nothing, didn't address it, didn't go to counsel or nothing. He just held a grudge. While he was around all the other disciples, he just held a grudge and didn't say nothing, man. What you find today is tons of people talk about, oh, Judas, like Judas was the only evil nigger in the world, man. People talk about Judas like Judas is one of one, when there's plenty of people that share that same spirit as Judas, man. There's plenty of people that share that same mindset as Judas. And you need to examine yourself and say, am I one of those people? Or am I more like Christ? You need to examine yourself and ask yourself, do I hold grudges and not address them? Or do I address the issues, man? Go ahead. Because Judas didn't address the issue, and guess what happened? Satan jumped on him, and in the end, he ended up betraying his brothers. He ended up becoming a traitor. Why? Because issues that was small, he didn't sort those things out, man. Issues that was small, he didn't sort those things out. And then he ended up getting his brother killed, man. Why? Because he didn't sort out those issues. So, okay, go ahead. What verse you at?
I believe it's 12 I'm at now, sir. This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you. 13.
Ungi's TV, Slaki once said, Ungi's TV said, do you forgive the stabber while the knife is still in your back and the handle is still in his hand? Like what do you mean? You have to give me more. Give me more on what you mean. Slaki, go ahead, Hakim.
Khan. This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you.
And this is the commandment, that we love one another, how the Lord has loved us. Go ahead.
Khan. Greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friend.
That what?
That a man lay down his life for his friend.
That's the greatest love, man. You dying for your brother or sister. There's no greater love than that. And Christ practiced what he preached, man. Because when he was alive, he said that. And what did he do? He laid down his life for his brothers, man. His body was broken so we can come into this truth. His blood was poured so we can come into this truth. And what are we supposed to do with that? A man who laid down his life so that we can come together. We meant to love each other, man. Whereas if we don't love each other, Christ died for nothing, man. Christ's body was broken for nothing. His side was pierced for nothing. His blood was shed for nothing. If we have to hold on to these grudges and can't forgive one another, man, and can't love each other, that means he died for no reason, man. Christ, listen, when Christ was on the cross, what did he say? Forgive them because they don't know what they do. Whereas you're holding on to a little grudge. You're holding on to something small. You're holding on to something someone done or said to you. Listen, man. These niggas killed Christ and he said, forgive them. Hold on. He said, I'm saying the act of forgiveness can lead to repetition of the assault. Everyone can die for another man's sins. Is there a reason to forgive? So now, he said, I'm saying the act of forgiveness can lead to repetition. The thing is this, when you forgive someone, it don't mean you put yourself in that same position again. Now, you can forgive someone for something they've done, but you don't put yourself in that same position again. And forgiving people in the world, half the time, they don't really care about forgiveness. What forgiveness isn't really for them. Forgiveness is more for you. So let me explain what I mean by that. Forgiveness is more for you when I say that. Because why? If you don't forgive for something done wrongfully to you, what happens? You don't think about it for the whole day. You don't get upset about it. You don't get angry about it. You can't focus without thinking about it. Whereas if you forgive and you let it go, you can continue with your life. So forgiveness is more for you to continue with your life. Don't think that forgiveness is for the other person, for them to keep committing the same crimes. Forgiveness is more for you.
That's
Letting
right.
things go. Because why? If you don't let go and forgive, what happens? It then leads to anxiety.
Right.
It then leads to anger and all of these kind of things. You holding on for something for too long, scientifically, it makes you sick, man. They've done a study in Harvard University where scientists that studied healthy people, they studied healthy people, and once they done the research, there was a dip in their antibodies after them being so angry, man. It was called like in your body, there's a thing called immunoglobulin, which kind of protects you from viruses and all those things. Now, once you're angry and holding on to certain things, your immune system becomes lower, man, and it makes you ill. And this is why so much people suffer from high blood pressure, anxiety, and they don't even know it's because they're holding on to anger. Hold on, let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. So obviously, for everyone who knows me, I read a lot of these chemistry books and all of these neuroscience books and all of those kind of things. So hold on, let me see if I can just pull it up and show you what I'm talking about. Hold on. Let's just type in, does anger affect the immune system? Because you have like a white-shaped protein in your body. It's called immunoglobulin, I believe. And then your immune system becomes weak once you hold on to all this anger and all of those kind of stuff. Hold on. Let me see if... hold on. Hold on.
Does anger affect the immune system? Yeah.
I got it here. Just to hold on. Let me pull it on the screen. And it's scientifically proven, man. So when we're saying let things go, we're saying it for a reason. So now, is it on the screen yet, Hakian?
Cancer. Anger creates energy surges, and when angry surges occur, chemicals such as adrenaline enter your bloodstream.
So now, this is what anger does. This is why so much people die from strokes and heart attacks and all of those kind of things. Why? Because you don't know how to forgive and let go, and you don't know how to move on. And it causes anxiety, it causes depression. Imagine if every morning you're angry about something that happened to you in the past, man. That's going to make you depressed. It's going to make you not want to get out of the bed, and you're not going to want to do nothing. If you're holding a grudge, what's that going to do? Before you do anything, you're going to be thinking about such and such done this to me 10 years ago, and I'm still mad about it. You let it affect your whole life. And they done studies in Harvard University and found out that being angry and not letting go causes you harm and illness. So, Lucky, go ahead.
Cancer.
It affects your immunoglobulin. That's the word. Lucky, go ahead.
Your heart rate increases, your blood flow increases, and your muscles tense.
Go ahead.
So lucky. Could you make that a little bit bigger, other one, if you could?
Hold on. Let me see if I can do it. Let me see.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm sure there was a straight zoom button,
Oh, I think I've got it now.
You got it?
A little bit better, yeah. Could you just scroll up a little bit? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's two up, sir.
All right,
losing your temper affects your cardiac health.
It affects you what?
Your cardiac health.
And this is why so much people be dropping dead in sicknesses and illnesses that they don't even know how to got it, man. Because you're angry at your brothers for no reason, man. You're angry and you don't know how to let go. And you're making yourself sick. And being angry all day and hating people all day, your brothers and your sisters, without a cause and not knowing how to let go, it affects your mental health also. It affects your mental health, which all of these things eventually affect your immune system, man. This is scientifically proven at Harvard University. So, Lucky, go ahead.
It can shorten your life.
It can what?
It can shorten your life when it's sustained.
It can shorten your life, man. Why? Because you're angry all the time, man. for no reason. Now there's a time to be angry, and there's a time when you have to forgive and let go, man. And that's why I said forgiveness is more for you, because who wants high blood pressure? Nobody. Who wants a weak immune system? Nobody. So forgiveness is more for you than it is the other person. So, Lucky, go ahead.
New research uncovers fresh evidence that suggests that the frequent exposure to negative emotions may have an important impact on the functioning of the immune system.
Oh, wait. Read that again one more time.
Khan Khan. New research uncovers fresh evidence to suggest that the frequent exposure to negative emotions may have an important impact on the functioning of the immune system.
And this is why so much people get ill. This is why so much people are sick. This is why so much people suffer from mental health. Why? Because you're holding on to things that you're supposed to let go of, man. All these grudges and all this anger and all this hatred, you're supposed to let go of it, man. Forgiveness is more for you than the other person, man. Once you forgive and let go, now that don't mean you put yourself in harm's way and allow the person to disrespect you and do the same thing to you 100 times. That's Christianity. That is. Christianity is someone robs you and you forgive them and then you leave your wallet for them to rob it again. That's Christianity. That's Christianity, that is, man. We don't do that in here. Forgiveness is more for you than the other person. Forgiveness is so I can let go, so I can wake up in the morning and I'm not thinking about how you wronged me and I'm lying in bed upset about it for 20 minutes. Forgiveness is so I don't have to do that. Forgiveness is so I can wake up in the morning and have a good day, man. So I can wake up in the morning and have a good day. My mind's clear. I can go to the gym instead of a dark cloud hanging over my head. We've all been there where you wake up in the morning with a dark cloud hanging over your head. We've all been there when you wake up in the morning and you're meant to go and do something, and then you think about someone that's wronged you, and you lie in bed for an extra 20 minutes thinking how this person's made you mad. That's 20 minutes wasted, man. That's 20 minutes of your day wasted. So forgiveness is more for you than it is for the other person, man. So forgiveness ain't letting somebody harm you 100 times. That's not what it is. That's Christianity, man. Forgiveness is you not taking vengeance for something that's done wrong to you. Yes, Lucky. Go. Is there anyone that hack in?
Yeah, Khan. Do you often feel sad or angry? This could affect how your body reacts.
Wait. Being sad and angry can what?
Do you often feel sad or angry? This could affect how your body reacts.
Being sad and angry also affects how your body reacts, man. It affects how you react. You being sad and angry affects how your body reacts, man. It affects your everyday life. Go ahead.
So, like it's if I may.
Go ahead.
I know you're talking about our brothers here, you know, and our sisters that we should all, you know, never hold a grudge against them. But what about, you know, the white man? I obviously know that, you know, we don't forgive the white man for what he's done. So how would you combat that, Salakia, with this new research here?
See, well, it is with this research, this is more personal. Someone's done something to you. Whereas with the oppressor, we know he's the devil the Bible speaks of, but we don't let him rule our whole life. Like we don't wake up in the morning depressed because of him and all of those kind of things, because we know he's going into slavery. It's not really personal.
Right.
This hatred more here is more personal. So this hatred more here is you wake up in the morning and you're thinking about this person done this to me, so I'm mad and blah, 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 blah. That's right. What this is. Or this is more a personal attack on you that someone's done to you. So this anger is more one-to-one, whereas we hate that person because he's the devil. But then we don't let that affect our mind state and our immune system. We just know to separate ourselves from him.
Is that, Salakia, sir, if I may, is that because we know his end too?
And what he does, it's not personal to us. Whereas this anger right here is what someone's personally done to you.
God. So
let's say someone robbed you, that's personal. Because they've physically robbed you. So you're thinking about this person on an individual basis and all these people. I hate them. I want them to do every day. Every day it's on your mind. Whereas with the white man, he ain't never done nothing personal to me. As a nation, we hate them as a nation for the crimes that they've committed. but it's not personal to us, if you get what I mean.
Can't.
Whereas this one here is more personal. So this study that they've done is more personal to you. So you aren't being angry at someone because they've done something personal on an individual basis. That's what this is more on.
Right. So if I could, sir, if a white man offend me, you know, today, would I forgive him or would I hold a grudge against him?
So now, with a white man offending you, forgiveness means what? Not avenging yourself. So what you would do is you would leave it to the Lord. You would pray to the Lord, Lord, deal with this man that done this to me because he's a heathen. So what you would do, you would take all the anger and aggression and serve the Lord with it. You would go pray to the Lord and leave it in the hands of the Lord. Because if you don't leave it into the hands of the Lord and you hold on to this grudge and you don't have righteous hatred, like David said, I've got perfect hatred. Perfect hatred is what? You leaving it to the Lord and letting the Lord deal with it. Now, if you go based off your own hatred and hold a grudge, what's going to happen? You're probably going to end up killing this Edomite man.
Right.
So there's a way to do it. And that's why the Lord said we ain't supposed to abhor an Edomite because the Lord knows that the devil the Bible speaks of.
Right.
The Lord knows the Lord knows what the Egyptians done to us and what these Edomites done to us. And the Lord knows we should harbor feelings for what they done to us. And that's why the Lord said, don't abhor an Edomite. Why? Because he knows that's going to make us harm them unjustly. So what are we supposed to do? Leave this to the Lord. Whereas we can pray to the Lord that he destroys the heathens. But when it comes to our brothers and sisters, we have to forgive them. Why? Because he's not only our God, he's their God also. So it would be like you saying to your father, kill my brother over there. The father's going to be like, how can I kill him when I'm supposed to love the both of you? When I'm supposed to protect the both of you? So there's a difference between us and them now. Now, can you pray that the Lord punishes these heathens? Of course you can. But now the Lord's instructed for us to love one another and to forgive each other. So we can't pray to harm our brothers and sisters, if you get my point.
Kadawan Khan, sir.
All right. Is there any more on that we was reading?
La sir.
There's no more on it. All right, no sweat.
No.
Slacky, go ahead.
Slacky, unless you scroll up, there might be some more.
Hold on,
if you scroll up on it, yeah.
Hold on, let me check.
Oh, sir. How does anger affect the body?
Go ahead.
Anger response can cause a ripple effect throughout the body, from the cardiovascular system to the nervous system.
And it affects your cardiovascular system and your nervous system. Why? Because your brain sends all these signals, man. And once your brain sending all these negative symbols, there's a thing called what's those things? Is it called neutrons or whatever? I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, the respirators that
yeah, that's the one. So these neutrons carry signals from your brain to other parts of your body. And now I think it's called neurotransmitters. That's what it might be called.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Neurotransmitters. It transmits things from your brain. So what you're thinking, it goes from your hippocampus, your amygdala, your cortex, your vertical cortex, all of those kind of things. It travels on neurotransmitters to different parts of your body. Because your body works as one. It transfers any information. So these things are like information. It transfers information. And if you're holding on to these grudges, obviously it's transferring tons of negative information, which affects your cardiovascular system and your nervous system. And many people get weak and die. Why? Because they hold on to grudges for far too long. They can't even get out of bed in the morning. Imagine these neurotransmitters. When you're supposed to be focusing on good times and going to the gym and whatnot, these neurotransmitters is transmitting information to say, lie in bed and think about how much I hate my brother and sister. Lie in bed and think about how much I want this black person to die from this and that because I hate them that much. And you let it affect your whole day. You let it affect your whole life. So, Lucky, go ahead, Hakian.
Neurotransmitters are chemical messengers that your body...
It's chemical messengers, man. Go ahead.
That your body can't function without. Their job is to carry chemical signals, messages.
It carries chemical signals, messages, man. That's what they do. They carry information from your brain around your body. Go ahead.
From one neuron nerve cell to the next target cell.
From one neural to one cell to the next. So now these neurotransmitters, what does it do? It sends a signal from like your brain to your arm, and then you'll move your arm. Now, if you have brain damage, what happens is these neurotransmitters don't transfer the signal correctly, and that's how you have disabilities, because the neurotransmitters ain't transmitting the information correctly. The information that it's meant to transmit is to put your arm in the air. These neurotransmitters ain't transmitting that information. You can't put your arm in the air, and that's what they call a disability, because your brain ain't transferring that information. This is why once people don't have enough oxygen to their brain, they become what the world calls a cabbage. Why? Because your brain stops working, and your brain can't transfer this information through the neurotransmitters to the rest of your body, and that's why you'll be bedbound. That's how the body works. So, luck, yeah. Are there any more on that?
Sir, that's it, sir.
All right, let me just get the part of your body which becomes immuno. Hold on. For the immuno.
So, lucky, sir.
Go ahead.
I just found something here. It says the effects of it, right?
Go ahead.
These messages help you move your limb, feel sensations, keep your heart beating.
See? Listen, man, listen, I know a little thing or two about how the body works. So, lucky, I'll be in them biology books and them chemistry books and all of those kind of things, man. So listen, I know what the hell I'm talking about. If you knew how your body worked, there's tons of things that you wouldn't do no more, man. If you knew how your body worked, there's a ton of things you wouldn't put in your body, and there's a ton of things you wouldn't do. But so lucky, let me just get this. So now this is immunoglobulin. So this is a part of your body which is shaped like a Y, and it protects you from bacteria and all of those kind of things. Hold on. Says immunoglobulin, any class of proteins present in the serum and cells of this immune system which function as antibodies. So hold on, let me see how let's see how immunoglobulin, that's how it works. Hold on. So now this is how it works. It says low immunoglobulin levels suggest that your immune system is not functioning optimally. Conditions associated with low immunoglobulin levels include serious infections, medication side effects, kidney disease, burns, malnutrition. Hold on, let me type in. Let's type in immunoglobulin and anger. Hold on.
It has been hypothesized that anger expression may be associated with increased salivary immunoglobulin.
Hold on, wait a minute. Let me see if there's a next one. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see what that one says. Hold on. Immunoglobulin and
immunoglobulin.
Immunoglobulin. Hold on. Let me find it because it affects immunoglobulin. No, immunoglobulin. Let me type anger affects immune system. Meaning your body doesn't fight off certain things because you have low. Hold on. All right. Let me just click on this one. After this, I'm gonna jump off this. Yeah, go ahead. Can you see that on there or
I don't know. What would you like me
Hold
to
on,
say?
wait. I need to
Yeah,
share the next one. So, okay.
can't also.
All right, hold on. Let me share it. Can you see that?
Yeah, just about.
If it's hard to read, let me know. And I can read it from this side.
Okay, yeah, I think it might be best if you read it on your side of the one, if you could.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's brain activity linking negative emotions to a lower immune response against disease has been revealed for the first time, claim researchers. Hold on, let me scroll down this some more. Says many previous studies have shown that emotions and stress can adversely affect the immune system. But this effect had not been directly correlated with the activity in the brain, says study leader Richard Davidson. Obviously, this must be an old article because they found out now in Harvard University that affects your brain. Prefrontal cortex. So now it says the part of the brain the team studied the prefrontal cortex. So now your prefrontal cortex is in your brain, is at the front of your brain. Obviously, when people mention brain just means everything inside your brain, but there's like tons of different parts inside your brain. There's a part for your emotions, which regulates your body temperature. There's a part for your feelings and your memory. There's a part of your brain, the amygdala, which works like a video recorder. It records all of your memories. And when you remember things, that's because your amygdala records things. Now, once your amygdala becomes damaged, they call it dementia. They call it Alzheimer's. So that all it is, your amygdala is damaged and it's no longer recording memories. So when people get forgetful, the amygdala stops working in their brain, which works like a video recorder. So okay, hold on. So the part of the brain the team studied, the prefrontal cortex, PFC, is associated with depression. People who had the greatest activity in the right PFC when asked to dwell on distressing episodes in their life had a markedly lower antibody level after an influenza vaccination, in contrast to those showing exceptional activity. When recalling happy times, develop high antibody levels. So this is saying, yeah, people that suffered from depression, their immune system was a lot weaker. People that suffer from anger and all of those things, their immune system's a lot weaker. But yeah, we'll drop that. So lucky, what scripture was we holding?
We was holding John, I believe, sir.
We done got all the way scientific.
John, Salakita?
We got all the way scientific. So lucky.
Khan, was I incorrect?
Go ahead.
John 15:13. Greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends.
It says great. It says there's no greater love than this, that a man lays down his life for his friends, man. That's real love right there. That's that right. You die for your brothers and sisters, man. That's real love. And you don't find that love outside of this building, man.
That's right.
Outside of this building, you don't find that love. In here, brothers love you so much that they'll be on Shema, man. Listen, while you're inside partying and dancing, there's brothers outside in the cold on Shema, man. There's brothers outside on Shema. Why? Because they love you and they want to keep you safe, man. They're on guard. Why? Because they want to love you and keep you safe. Which means if someone did come with a weapon, they're going to take it first before somebody gets to you, man. That's real love. In the Christian church, what happens? Nobody's on the guard. They let a white man come in there and shoot up the whole church. There's no one on guard, man. There's no one on Shema. In here, the brothers love the brothers love each other, love the women, love the children. Listen, man. Go ahead.
Khan, ye are my friends if you do whatsoever I command you.
Christ said you're his friends if you do whatever he commands you, man. Christ is saying, look, if you do what I command you, we're friends, man. Meaning what? I'll die for you, man. You're my friends. I'll die for you, man. Go ahead. And there's some people who's ungrateful. And when Christ returns, he's going to have to kill them. Why? Because his body being broken, they didn't change their life. His blood being shed for them, they didn't change their life. Him giving them a second chance, they didn't change their life. So when he returns, some people are going to have to die, man. It's how it goes. Now's the time of mercy and grace where you get yourself right. But the time's coming when there's no more of that, man. The time's coming when that's coming to an end. So lucky, go ahead.
Khan. Verse 15. Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth or doth. But I have called you friends, for all things that I have heard of my Father, I have made
Now,
known.
Christ said what? No longer do I call you servants, man. I call you friends, man. Meaning what? You have to come in here and prove yourself. First, you have to come in here and prove yourself, man. And then what happens? You become a trooper, officer, sister, all of those kind of things. First, when you come in, you don't know the ins and outs, man. Then when you come in and you prove yourself, you then prove, all right, then you're friends and you have the right to be in here, man. That's what that's talking about. You prove yourself, man. So, lucky, go ahead.
Khan. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you.
Christ is saying, you ain't chosen me, but I have chosen you. He's saying this to his disciples, man. You didn't choose me. Like sometimes you think you're in here by chance. You're not in here by chance, man. You've been chosen to come in here. Do you know how much people wish they could come in here, but the Lord ain't chose them to? The Lord chose you to come in here, man. And with the Lord choosing you to come in here, you better make the most of it, man. You better do what you're supposed to, because not everyone has this opportunity that you've been given, man. You don't want to take these opportunities for granted. You've been chosen to come in here, and we better love one another in here, man.
Right.
So we better release the anger, man. We better let that go and love one another in here. Because what? We've been chosen by the Lord, meaning what? The Lord saw something in you that you didn't even see in yourself, man. The Lord saw something in you that you don't even see in yourself. If you're in here, that's the right thing to do, man. And you being here, you staying here and learn and study and learn how to apply them scriptures to your life, man. That's what you have to do. Learn how to apply everything to your life. So, lucky, go ahead.
Khan. And ordained you that you should go and bring forth fruit.
And he said, damn, I ordained you that you should go and bring forth fruit. Go ahead.
And that your fruit should remain.
And that your fruit should remain, meaning the brothers and sisters that you bring in the truth, they're going to stay in the truth. That the fruit should remain, man. Some of the brothers and sisters in here, they've been rocking and rolling for a long time, man. That the fruit should remain. That's what Christ is talking about. Not that people come in one day, gone the next. The fruit should remain. So, lucky, go ahead.
Khan said, that whatsoever you shall ask of my Father, Salakia, that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it to you.
Go ahead.
These things I command you, that ye love one another. If the
What verse now?
Salakia, I'm on 18, sir.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Khan. If the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you.
And Christ said, if the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. Because everybody in this world hated Christ, man. Nowadays, obviously, this world loves Caesar Borgia. Why? Because that's not Christ. That's not Yahushua. This world hated Yahushua, man. They hated him. Why? Because he stood on the word of the Lord. And this world didn't want the word of the Lord. This world wanted to do what people in the world do. And Christ said to his men, if the world hates you, it's because it hated me first. So Christ is saying the whole world is going to hate you. And this is why in here we shouldn't hate each other, man. Imagine this. If we hate each other and everybody out there hates us, that makes no sense, man. We're supposed to be a strong defense by loving one another, man. We're supposed to love one another and be a strong defense, man. The world hates us already. We ain't got no time to be hating each other, man. The world's against us. We ain't got no time to be against each other. What we need to do is love each other, man. And that means what? Resolving issues and all of those kind of things. Letting things go from the past. All of those kind of things. Even people in the world, listen, man. We all got family in the world that we can't stand. But obviously, sometimes you just have to let it go, man. And when I say let it go, don't mean forget it. I mean, just, You forgive them because forgiveness is more for you than them. Forgiveness is you just letting go of resentment and all of those kind of things. Whereas that way you can move on with your life. Now, do you ever have to see them again? No. Forgiveness don't mean if this person phones you tomorrow and asks you for money, you have to give them. No. That's Christianity, man. You learn from the mistakes. Forgiveness doesn't mean you don't learn from your mistakes. Now you learn from your mistakes. You've helped someone out that didn't appreciate it. What you do is you say, all right, you know what? No sweat, I'm gonna move on from it. And next time they want help, you don't help them, man. That's a them problem now. You just be like, I'm not gonna mess around with that person in that way again. Forgiveness don't mean someone keeps using you and you keep letting them use you. No. That's Christianity. So lucky. Go ahead.
Come on, sir. These things I command you, that you love one another. Salakia. If you were of the world would love.
And Christ letting these men know that you ain't in the world, man. So they hate you. Meaning, if you was of the world, they would love you. Your family would love you if you celebrated birthdays, Christmas, Easter. If you celebrated those things, this world would love you, man. If you celebrated those things, this world would love you and appreciate you and treat you well. But because you're in here, this world hates you, man. All day long, you have to hear them saying, oh, these Israelites, the rebels, they're in a cult, the this, the that. All day you have to hear it, man. All day you hear people bad-mouthing us, talking nonsense. Because why this world hates righteousness? We're just trying to serve the Lord in peace, and this world don't leave us in peace, man. So lucky, go ahead.
Come, but because you're not of the world.
We'll see who's at the end of this world, the oppressor's rulership. We're gonna see who's right and wrong. So lucky, go ahead.
Come, but because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you.
He goes, he's chosen us out of the world, and therefore the world hates us. Meaning what? One time you was in the world, one time you was doing what the rest of the world does, and now we no longer doing what the rest of the world does. This world hates us. This world can't stand us. This world is like wants us destroyed. Why? Because us and them don't agree. We don't agree with the world, so this world hates us. Whereas in here, we're supposed to agree with one another, man. Because we believe the same things. We serve the same God. We follow the same laws. We break bread together. We eat together. Whereas, how can we eat together if we don't love each other? That's why Christ was so serious on the breaking bread with your brothers, man. We go to camp together. We war together. And what do? After that, we eat food together, man. How can you eat food with a man and you hate him? That's what Judas did, man. Judas ate food with Christ knowing that he hated him. In here, we don't do that, man. When we eat food together, it's because we love one another. We take it serious, man. Now, now, if you're hiding the fact that you hate your brother or sister and you're eating food together, guess what? What you're doing is nothing new. Judas done the same thing, man. Judas hid some hatred and still ate food with his brother, man. In here, we don't do that. Slug, you go ahead.
Khan. Remember the word that I said unto you, that the servant is not greater than his Lord.
Christ is saying the servant ain't greater than his Lord, but for time's sake, I'm going to drop that. Get me Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1.
Zephaniah 2 verse 1. Zephaniah 2 verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yeah, gather together, O nations not desired.
Do what?
Gather together, O nations not desired.
It says, gather yourself together, O nation not desired, man. We are a nation not desired. The world hates us. Everybody outside of these doors hates us. We are a nation not desired. So what are we supposed to do? Desire one another, man. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to love and desire one another because the rest of the world already hates us. So how about we love each other, man?
Right.
Imagine the rest of the world. Listen, it's so deep that the rest of the world, they want to see us dead, man. They want to see us dead. Like they hate us with a passion, man. At camp, they'll be saying, oh, they'll be wishing they could kill us, man. They'll be waiting for that day to kill us. They hate us with a passion, man. They would rather this earth get rid of us. They would rather this earth get rid of us. And we're supposed to love one another, man, because the rest of them want to kill us. How can me knowing the rest of them want to kill us for what I believe and what I stand on, and I've got an issue with a man who stands and believes the same thing and won't address the issue? Listen, man. What we need to do is what we agree on. We need to what? What we need to do is gather ourselves together, and what makes us gather together is what we agree on, man. We agree that what? This is the home of the truth.
That's right.
That the Bible is the word of the Lord. We agree on those things, man. And that's what brought us here. And those things is meant to bond us together, man. We all here, why? Because we love our God, Christ, and we love blacks and Hispanics, man. That's why we're here. Because we love our people. And those are the things which bonds us together, man. And we need to not let nothing break our bond. Nothing at all, man. We should let nothing break our bonds. Like
That's right.
Drop that. Give me Amos chapter 3 and verse 3.
Amos 3 verse 3. Can two walk together except they agree?
And listen, we in here, why? Because we agree, man. We in here because we agree. We won. That's why we're here, because we agree. Now, if we don't get along, surely one of us don't agree, man. If we hate each other, surely one of us don't agree. Read that one more time, so lucky.
Amos 3 verse 3. Can two walk together except they be agreed?
So now, we agree with this Bible, that this Bible is the word of God. Now, if let's say I've got an issue with Haki, I know Haki's got an issue with me, and we don't move past that issue, one of us holds onto a grudge and don't move past that issue. And the Bible says forgive. That means one of us don't believe in the word of God.
That's right.
One of us don't believe in the Bible, man. One of us is claiming we believe in the Bible, but we don't believe in the Bible. Why? Because we would agree, man. It says, can two walk together except to be agreed? Now, if we agree with everything which is written in here, and we live by everything which is written in here, and in here it says not to hold a grudge, and I'm holding a grudge against my brother, what does that mean? That means I don't agree with what's written in here, man.
That's right.
That means I'm saying I agree with it, but really I don't agree with it. Or we would agree and walk together. There's a reason why we can't walk together. Why? Because one of us don't agree. That's all it is. One of us don't agree, and that's the reason why we can't walk together. Whereas if we both agree with everything in this Bible, guess what? Every issue could be resolved, man. Every single one. You know why? Because you would know in the Bible, it says, let go of grudges, love your brother, love your sisters. You would know that it says that. If you can't do those things, it's because you hate your brothers and sisters. We're supposed to love one another, man. It's like you read on.
Counsel. Will a lion roar in the forest when he have no prey?
Actually, you can drop that. Give me the book of Luke, chapter 17 and verse 3.
Counsel. Luke 17, verse 3. Take heed to yourselves. If thy brother trespass against thee, rebuke him. And if he repent, forgive him.
Correct him? Now, if your brother repents, he says, hey, Salakia, forgive him, man. If he says, oh, Salakia, my bad, forgive him. Go ahead.
Khan. And if he trespass against thee 7 times in a day, and 7 times in day turn again to thee, saying...
So Christ's teaching is these brothers about forgiveness. He's saying, listen, man, if a brother offends you 7 times in a day, and he says to Salakia, forgive him. But now does this mean does this mean if he's doing it purposely? Like sometimes people do things and they don't think. And you might be in endless councils. You might be in endless councils. But obviously you can't get to this stage where you say, you know what? damn this brother, I'm not forgiving him no more, it's done. Now, if you go to the council and the council says, all right, then forgive the brother, let it go, you have to let it go. So, Lucky, go ahead.
And 7 times in a day turn again to thee, saying, I repent, thou shalt forgive him.
Go ahead.
And the apostles said unto the Lord, increase our faith.
And they said, increase our faith. You know why? Because at this time, they were saying, I ain't forgiving a brother that much times. If he trespasses against me, I'm not forgiving him. I'm gonna hold a grudge. Forget that. Nah. I'm not forgiving him for his trespasses. If a brother does me wrong, I'm holding a grudge. So there was like, increase our faith, because there was like, damn, you must have faith to forgive a man that much times, but I'm not letting it slide. I'm gonna hold a grudge. I'm gonna be bitter. I'm gonna be angry, and I'm not letting it slide. That's what they was basically saying when they said increase our faith. Go ahead.
And the Lord said, if ye had faith as a grain of mustard seed.
And listen, a mustard seed is tiny, man. Christ is saying, if you can't forgive your brother or sister, you have no faith. That's what he's saying, man. He's saying, if you can't forgive your brother or sister, you have no faith, man. If you had faith as a mustard seed, if you've ever seen how small a mustard seed is, hold on, let me see if I can pull up a picture. Can you see it on the screen, Hakeem?
Can't, sir.
Just look how small one of those seeds are. That's a mustard seed. That's how small they are, man.
Right.
Christ is saying, if you had faith as small as that mustard seed, but he's saying, if you can't forgive your brother, you've got no faith, man. Listen, it don't matter how much breakdowns you know, how much shalams you give, how much salutes you give. If you're holding grudges against your brother or your sister, honestly, it means nothing, man. All the breakdowns, you know, means nothing. All the salutes and the right and being righteous outwardly, it means nothing, man. If you hate your brother or sister, man, it means nothing. All of that means nothing. You know why? Because you don't even have faith as small as a mustard seed, man. So, Lucky, go ahead.
So, Lucky, sir, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there a precept for what you just said there, sir?
About which part?
When you said, if you can't forgive your brother or your sister, then you just said,
yeah, there is a precept. Hold on, let me find it.
Yeah, can't.
I believe it's the one where it says, if I lack charity, I have nothing.
Can't. That's Corinthians, I think, so. 1 Corinthians 13, I believe.
Yeah, it might be that one. Yeah, it might be that one. 1 Corinthians 13, let me see.
Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, and of not charity,
so it goes, go speak with the tongues of angels, meaning what? Someone who's a linguist. A linguist is what? Someone who knows multiple languages. You could know Spanish, Portuguese, Hebrew. If you don't have brotherhood, what's the point, man? If you don't have brotherhood, there's no point you knowing any of that. So, Lucky, listen, the Lord would rather you have what? No, none of that, but have brotherhood. You being a linguist ain't gonna save your life, but having brotherhood will save your life, man. You can be a linguist and sleep with another man's woman, man, because you got no brotherhood. Or you could not be a linguist and you could have brotherhood and know not to touch another man's woman, man. Go ahead. You could be the smartest person in the world, but be a secret drug addict, man. What's the point, man? Or you could know nothing and have brotherhood, man. So, Lucky, what verse you at?
Verse 1, sir.
Go ahead.
Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, and have not charity, I am become
is what? Brotherhood, man. Go ahead.
Sir. I am become as a sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal.
You're just a sound, man. Listen, you ain't
Can't.
got no brotherhood.
I
You're
hear
just
you.
you're just talking for the sake of talking. You're just
Mm,
a sound with no meaning to it, man.
can't.
That's what you are. If you don't have no brotherhood, you're just a sound. So like you go ahead.
Can't. And though I have the gift of prophecy,
Meaning you can prophesy all day. You can break down the future. You can break down World War III. You can break down all of that, man. Go ahead.
can't, and understand all mysteries.
You understand all the parables, every parable in the Bible. You understand them. You can break them down, manifold, many different ways. You can break them down. Go ahead.
Can't, and all knowledge.
And all knowledge, man. You know everything. Go ahead.
And though I have all faith,
And
so
you have
I
all
can,
faith, man. You believe. You believe. You believe. You have all faith. Go ahead.
so that I could remove mountains.
You have all faith so that you could remove mountains. Meaning, you see, go ahead. People actually think moving mountains. People think in the Bible when it talks about moving mountains that you actually mean moving mountains. It don't literally mean that. It just means doing something which is not usually done, kind of thing. People believe that when Christ said you would say to the mountain, move, the mountain's going to move. It's not saying that. It's just talking about if you have faith, you could do certain things. Basically, that's what it's getting at. If you had faith, you could do certain things. That's what it's getting at. People think it means if I say to the mountain, move, the mountain's going to move. It's not talking about that. It's a figurative of speech, meaning obviously mountains don't usually move. It's a figurative of speech, meaning something that don't usually happen could happen if you had faith. That's what it's getting at. Go ahead.
Can't. So that I could remove mountains and have not charity, I am nothing.
And you don't have charity, you're nothing, man.
So
If you don't have brotherhood or sisterhood, you're nothing, man. All you are is a sound. All you are is a sound that just keeps making noise.
Right.
That's all you are, man. If you like brotherhood and sisterhood, go ahead.
Can't. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, and have not charity, it profiteth me nothing.
And if you don't have brotherhood, everything you're doing is nothing, man. It profits you nothing. You think, yeah, I know all of these things. I feed the poor and I do this. If you don't have brotherhood, you don't have nothing, man. And the Lord gave us brothers and sisters who we labor with, man. And how can I hate a brother that I labor with? How can a brother that labor with me hate me? How can a sister the Lord sent into the school, how can I hate them and so forth? Listen, man, we have to have charity up in here, and that way people outside there will see our charity, and then they will come through these doors, man. Then they will come through these doors. If not, no one's gonna come through these doors. So lucky, go ahead.
Cancer. Charity suffereth long.
Charity what?
It suffereth long.
Listen, man. Meaning people's gonna piss you off, and you have to put up with it, man. Obviously, you will go to council, but you have to be like again. And sometimes you're gonna have to keep going into council, man. Charity suffereth long, man. Now, sometimes you're gonna be like, again, and you're gonna have to keep going to council, and the brother or sister's gonna say Salakia, and then you go again, they offend you again, back to council. Listen, man, people keep offending you and doing things wrong. Guess what happens? They'll get fined so much until they fix up, man. They'll get chastised so much until they fix up. They'll get chastised so much until they change, man. And it happens, man. You get chastised so much until you say, you know what? I'm gonna have to change because all these things I'm doing now, this chastisement, I don't like it. You get me? Read on. Is there any more on that? Or is it all the same? Reiterating the same thing?
It's kind of saying the same thing. Charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth itself, not itself. It is not puffed up.
It is not puffed up, man.
Yeah.
Don't envy, all of those kind of things, man. In here, we don't show off on our brothers and all of those kind of things. I mean, we all brothers, man.
That's right.
We don't show off on our brothers. We don't throw our rank around. None of those kind of things.
Mm.
We don't belittle a brother because his a lesser rank.
That's right.
Why? Because he's our brother, man.
Mm.
One day I was his rank, man. And I wouldn't like it if someone belittled me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't speak to you like you're nothing because you're a lesser rank. I don't speak to you like you're nothing because you're a sister. I speak to everyone respectfully, man.
That's right.
Be respectful, be respectful to all men, man.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I ain't gonna see a brother that's a lesser rank and speak to him like he's not a human. The thing is this, he's in here. Why? Because he wants to serve Christ, man. Why am I gonna give him a hard time serving the Lord? Now, sometimes you have to check brothers, but obviously you're not meant to just throw your weight around and so forth. You're not meant to throw your weight around and walk around like you're something special and all of those kind of things. Now, in here we follow rank and order, man. But then, obviously, you speak to brothers respectfully, man. Obviously, sometimes you have to check brothers, depending on, but to just be horrible to someone for no reason, we don't do that in here, man.
Mm-hmm.
We don't just look at a brother and just, you take out because you've had a bad day, you take it out on him. We don't do that in here, man. That's called being emotional. In here, we've had a bad day at work. We're happy to see our brothers, man. After a long day at work, I'll be voice noting Karafi like, yo, this happened today, yo, and he'll be like, yo, I hear you. He'll be like, yeah, I hear you. Same thing happened to me, yo. Didn't even want to go in today. You get me? That's what I'm saying, man. Like, brotherhood's a weapon, man. There's days where these damn devils piss you off on the job. And who are you supposed to fall back on? Your brothers, man.
That's right.
Your voice is supposed to make you say, damn, I can't wait for this kingdom to fall. And so forth, man. Salakia, give me 1 Kings chapter 21 and verse 1.
Come on. First Kings chapter 21 verse 1.
All right, this right here is another thing that you don't want to do. What you don't want to do is you don't want to vent to your woman. That's what you don't want to do. Listen, man. When you vent, believe it or not, when you vent to your woman about your brothers, that's the wrong thing to do, man. You just strengthen that demon. That's what that does. It strengthens that demon, man. Understand this. Women are more emotional than you are. So if you say to your woman, this person done this to me to piss me off, blah, 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 don't like them, guess what happens? Your woman also ends up not liking that brother, man. Venting to your woman is the last thing you want to do. This is why it's very important that we go to he and D alone, man. Sometimes my rib be like, yo, what's up with you? Nothing. That's it. I'm fine. Nothing. So, Lucky, go ahead. Give me 1 Kings 21 and 1.
Quran, 1 Kings 21 verse 1. And it came to pass after these things that Nabal the Jezreelite had a vineyard which was in Jezreel, hard by the palace of Ahab, king of Samaria.
So Ahab was king of the northern kingdom at that time, Samaria. So that's where they was at that time. Go ahead.
Quran Khan, and Ahab spake unto Naboth, saying, give me thy vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs.
Ahab wanted a man's vineyard because obviously it was near to his house, and he wanted to grow herbs on this vineyard. Go ahead.
Because it was near to my house, and I will give thee for it a better vineyard than it. Or if it seem good to thee, I will give thee the worth of it in money.
So he wanted to buy the vineyard of him. Obviously, what's his name? Naboth said, I'm not selling this vineyard, it's an inheritance. Lucky, go ahead.
Quran Khan, and Naboth said to Ahab, the Lord forbid it me that I should give the inheritance of my fathers unto thee.
And he said, I can't give this to you because this is my father's inheritance. Meaning, the certain things your fathers give you in their inheritance, once they pass, it then comes down to you. Once you pass, it then goes to your oldest son, and so on, and it stays in the family. So this man said, I can't give you this vineyard. Go ahead.
Quran Khan, and Ahab came into his house heavy and displeased.
And this man was heavy and displeased. Why? Because he got an answer that he didn't want to hear. He got told, I can't sell you the vineyard. He got an answer that he didn't want to hear. What Ahab should have done is just brought another vineyard, man. Surely you can find another vineyard close by. But he came to his house heavy and displeased, man. And there's going to be times when you go home heavy and displeased. There's going to be times when people do things to you and you're going to go home heavy and displeased. Go ahead.
Quran Khan, because of the word which Naboth the Jezreelite had spoken to him. For he had said, I will not give thee the inheritance of my fathers. And he laid him down upon his bed.
So now this man lied in his bed, man. Like when I said, when you're angry, you lie down in your bed for an extra 20 minutes just thinking about how this person's upset you and all of these things. Ahab done this thing, man. Lie down on his bed, and he was angry, and he was grudgeful, and he was upset, man. He lied down on his bed, angry. Go ahead.
Quran Khan, and turned away his face.
Meaning he lied down on his bed. You know when someone's upset, and usually women do it. You know when they turn the other way when they're mad about something. Obviously, that's what he done. Laid down on his bed and turned away his face because he's mad about it. He's all upset in his feelings. Go ahead. Instead of being a man and addressing the whole situation or understanding, just buy a vineyard somewhere else. He's mad over a vineyard, man. Find one somewhere else, man. Listen, you're the king of Samaria, man. Why you care about one vineyard when you can go buy 10 more, man? So okay, go ahead.
Quran Khan, and would eat no bread.
And this man wouldn't eat, man. And this goes along with being upset, angry, and distressed and depressed. What? You can't eat, man. Obviously, how can this ever happen? Sometimes you're angry about something and you're hungry. Something happens, you're angry about it, and you can't even eat no more.
Can't.
Like everyone's had that feeling, man, where you was hungry before, something happens, and you're so angry you can't eat. Obviously, this man was going through that, man, which lets you know what people was going through in the Bible is the same things that we go through today. The Bible tells you there's nothing common to man, meaning whatever's happened before, the same demons that was back then is the same demons now, man. Obviously, back then they just didn't have names that they have for it now. Nowadays, they just have names like bipolar and all of those kind of things. They just didn't have names for it back then. Go ahead.
Quran Khan, but Jezebel, his wife, came to him and said unto him, why is thy spirit so sad?
And now you'll come home. Sometimes your rib will say to you, yo, what's up? Why are you so sad? And then what? And then the mistake that you make is what? Venting to your woman about what happened, man. Venting to your woman is the one thing you don't want to do. Because why? She's more emotional than you. You're gonna vent to your woman, and guess what's gonna happen? The demon that you had is gonna jump on her, and she's gonna pass that demon back to you, man, just in a stronger way. She's gonna say, don't let him speak to you like that. You're a man too. Don't let him She's gonna stroke that demon, man. So what are you meant to do? You're meant to stop that demon in its tracks by doing what? Going to he and thee alone. You see, once you don't go to he and thee alone, you let that demon fester. You then vent to your rib. The demon then jumps on her. Whereas your rib could have been having a good day. You've just told her about how someone's done all of these things to you or whatever. And then your rib will put some stuff in your head. Yeah, they're taking the piss. Don't let them talk to you like that. Don't let them I think they're walking all over you. You should just leave. And then she puts something in your head. Oh, maybe. And then she'll say, you know what? I've never liked him anyway, man. I've never liked him. I see how he looks at me. I've never liked him. And then that demon jumps back on you. And you be like, yeah, I don't like him either. And then before you know it, you and your rib are full on venting. And the demon's just transferring from you to her, from her to you. Venting to your rib is the last thing you want to do, man. You got any issues in the school? Address them. Because venting to your woman, it just makes it a lot worse, man. She don't need to know if you got an issue with someone in the school. You just address it, man. Because why? Once she knows, she holds on to that. Even once you've let the whole issue go, she's still not going to let it go. The brother's gonna salute her, and he's gonna tell from the way she salutes him that, damn, what's her issue with me? Listen, man, that's the last thing you want to do is vent to a woman. So, lucky, go ahead.
Quran Khan, why is thy spirit so sad that thou eatest no bread?
And she asked him, why is your spirit so sad that you ain't even eating food, man? When you see bread in the Bible, it just means food. Obviously, when you see bread in the Bible, it means food, because sometimes people see bread and think, okay, these niggas just ate bread every single day of their life. Bread just means food.
Right.
So, okay, go ahead. Because you'll think they ate bread every single day of their life. You'd think a black man came home and had bread for dinner. That's what you'd think. Whereas when does a black man ever come home and have bread for dinner? Bread is just synonymous with food. That's why Christ said, give us our daily bread. That just means give us our daily food. It doesn't literally always mean bread. So, lucky, go ahead. That's how the white man reads it. He thinks they ate bread every day for a living. There'll come a time when you get sick of toast, if that was the case, man. Imagine every day you're eating toast, you get sick of it, man. So, lucky, go ahead.
That's right, Khan, sir. And he said unto her, because I spake unto Naboth the Jezreelite, and he said unto him, give me thy vineyard for money, or else, if it please thee, I will give thee another vineyard for it. And he answered, I will not give
now he's venting to his woman, man. He's venting to his woman. He's telling her the whole issue, why he's mad, what happened. He's venting, man. So, lucky, go ahead.
And Jezebel, his wife, said unto him, dost thou now govern the kingdom of Israel?
But now she's gassing him up, man. She's saying, damn, well, you're the king of Israel, man. She's saying, you're Ahab, man. You're the king of Israel. Go ahead.
Arise and eat bread.
She's saying, arise and eat bread. Go ahead.
And let thy heart be merry. I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite.
And now she's saying, don't worry, you're going to get that vineyard, man. The man told him he couldn't have this vineyard. What would have happened? Ahab probably would have just been mad for a little bit and let it go. Now this woman, this woman is telling him how to get the vineyard. Now she's plotting evil, man. And him already having a demon on him, he's going to listen to the evil. He's going to listen to the evil, man. And this is why you don't want to vent to your wife, because you put her in a position to end up hating your brothers or your sisters, man. You put her in a position to end up hating someone that she didn't even need to know there was a problem. Like, you don't want to put her in a position, because what will happen? What will happen? That will just lead to more problems.
Right.
Now, once the issue between you and the brothers resolved,
right,
you're still going to be holding malice and feelings.
Right.
The brother's going to salute you, used to a tight again. He's going to say, hey, shalom to your wife. Your wife's going to turn her head, shalom. And
right.
He's going to, huh? As your rib got a problem with me. And then now you're in an awkward position. Why? Because your rib's got a problem with that man. Why? Because you caused her to have a problem, because you went and vented to her. And she's holding on to feelings. And she's the weaker vessel, man. And you know what else is embarrassing? When you and your rib fall out, your rib goes on Facebook and tells everything anyway. She goes on Facebook and says, I don't know. She'll comment on, listen, you and a brother will have a picture together. If you've been venting to your rib about this brother, guess what she'll do? Go on Facebook and comment on the picture. I don't know why you're acting like you're all tight in this picture, because you told me you didn't like him and You told me you couldn't stand him. Your rib will do all of that, and then guess what happens? That then creates another issue between you and the brother, man. Whereas if you would have just went to counsel in the beginning and not vented to your woman, that couldn't happen, man. Listen, your woman would when she's disgruntled, she will go on Facebook and embarrass you, man. On Facebook and said, well, you said blah, blah, blah about this person. I don't know why you like acting all pally-pally in the picture. And guess what? You can't even deny it, because you did say those things, man. You did vent to her. And that's what you ain't supposed to vent to no woman. So, lucky, go ahead.
Quran Khan, she wrote letters in Ahab's name. And
so now he's told her why he's mad. And now she's trying to say, all right, then this is what you're going to do. She's wrote letters in his name. Go ahead.
And sealed them with his seal. And sent the letters unto the elders and to the nobles that were in the city dwelling with Naboth.
Go ahead.
And she wrote in the letters, saying, proclaim a fast and set Naboth on high among the people.
And now she's telling them, setting above and fast and set him on high above the people. She's wrote the letters in Ahab's name with a seal, meaning she's wrote the letters and sealed it with his signature. Go ahead.
And she wrote in the letters, saying, proclaim a fast and set Naboth on high among the people. And set 2 men, sons of Belial, before him to bear witness against him, saying, thou didst blaspheme God and the king.
Go ahead.
And then carry him out and stone him.
Wait, hold on, Salaki. Give me 1 second. Salaki, go ahead.
Salakia. And the man of his city, even the elders and the nobles who were inhabitants of the city, did as Jezebel had sent unto them.
So now they're just following the order of the king, because she wrote it in the king's name, sealed it with his signature, and they're just following orders. Go ahead.
Quran Khan. And as it was written in the letters which she had sent unto them, they proclaimed a fast and set Naboth on high among the people. So, like you said, what does that mean? Set Naboth on high among the people. What does they mean by that?
Basically, what it is, they put him in a high position. So they put him in a high position so they could lie and say blaspheme God, and then so they could bring him down.
High position to blood. I don't know what you mean. Still don't know what you mean.
Meaning basically they put him on a pedestal.
Right. As in
they bigged him up and to bring him down.
Right. So basically, could you give me hype? Could you give me like big him up? What I'm still not.
You know what verse you at?
12, sir.
Go ahead.
They proclaimed the fast.
So now they proclaimed the fast and setting the buff on high among the people, meaning they bigged him up, put him up high, and then they brought in 2 false witnesses to say that he blasphemed God.
Oh, in other words, he didn't fast and he didn't.
No. So they proclaimed the people to fast, and then they brought in 2 false witnesses.
Okay.
Do you get what it means?
Yeah, they brought 2 liars in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To come and lie on Naboth, right?
Yeah. So so they brought in 2 false witnesses.
Yeah.
And then once those two false witnesses lied on the brother.
And said what? That he didn't fast?
No, they said they lied and said they blasphemed God.
How would he blaspheme God?
Hold on, give me 1 second. Hey, Shalom, say Lord in Christ. Salaki, say that again, Hakian.
Salakia, I mean, how would he blaspheme God, sir?
How would he blaspheme God? By telling a lie, by basically saying God don't exist or whatever, things like that.
Right, okay, no sir.
So things like that. So they lied It don't tell you what he said. It just says that he blasphemed God. So
Right.
to blaspheme God would be you saying God don't exist.
Right.
Or it
Can't.
would be you saying God said something that God didn't say. It would be like you saying God said we can eat pork now.
Right.
So those two witnesses. So you had to. So back then you had to have two witnesses in order for someone to die. You had to have more than one witness. So they brought in two false witnesses to say that he blasphemed God. Because if it was one man that said it, then this man couldn't die by the mouth of one witness. You know why? Because one witness could just be a man that hates that man and lies. So you need two witnesses. And then if two witnesses are saying that they had the same thing, then more than likely it's true. But obviously in this case,
Can't.
it wasn't true. So they lied on the brother. So Lucky, go ahead.
So what, sir?
No, sir.
And there came in two children of Belial and sat before him.
Go
And the
ahead.
man of Belial witnessed against him, even against Naboth, in the presence of the people, saying, Naboth did blaspheme God and the king. And they carried him forth out of the city and stoned him.
Belial means basically, it means like devil, deceiver. So when it says, what did it say there? Two what? Sons of Belial.
Belial, yeah, Belial.
Yeah. So that'd be like you saying two sons of bitches, if you get what I mean.
Mm.
So that's what it would mean. So you see when people say a son of a bitch, it doesn't literally mean you're a son of a bitch. So lucky. Here, when it says the sons of Belial, it just means two sons of two deceivers, devils. So, but he called them sons of because why? They nigh unto the devil with their actions.
Can't.
So that's why it says that's lucky. Go ahead.
Can't, sir. Then they carried him forth out of the city and stoned him with stones that he died.
And they killed him, man, because they lied on him. Go ahead. I'm going to try to wrap this up quick time. Go ahead.
Yeah. Then they sent to Jezebel, saying, Naboth is stoned and is dead. And it came to pass, when Jezebel heard that Naboth was stoned and was dead, Jezebel said to Ahab, Arise, take possession of the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite,
So
which
now
he
she
refused to give
got
thee.
this man killed, all because this man vented to his woman. She got this man killed. So lucky. Go ahead.
Khan, which he refused to give thee for money. For Naboth is not alive, but dead. And it came to pass, when Ahab heard that Naboth was dead, that Ahab rose to go down to the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite to take possession of it. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, Arise, go down to meet Ahab, king of Israel, which is in Samaria. Behold, he is in the vineyard of Naboth, whether he is gone down to possess it. And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, Thus saith the Lord, thou hast thou killed and also taken possession.
So now this is when Elijah comes now. This is when Elijah comes, because obviously he's found out what horribleness was done in Israel, where he's got the man killed. So like, you go ahead.
And also take possession. And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, Thus saith the Lord, the blood of Naboth shall Salakia. Hast thou killed and hast thou taken possession? And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, Thus saith the Lord, in the place where dogs lick the blood of Naboth, shall dogs lick thy blood, even thine.
Now Elijah saying, listen, because you killed that man, you're gonna die. And this man had to end up dying. Why? Because he listened to his woman, man. He vented to his woman, and she put some idea in his head. He followed the idea his woman put in his head, and it's gonna cause him to die, man. It's gonna cause him and his woman to die. So like, go ahead.
And Ahab said to Elijah, Hast thou found me, O my enemy? And he answered, I have found thee, because thou hast sold thyself to work evil in the sight of the Lord.
Go ahead.
Behold, I will bring evil upon thee, and will take away thy possession, prosperity, and will cut off from Ahab him that pisseth against the wall.
What verse you at?
21, Salakia.
Yeah, go ahead. Now Elijah saying, what the Lord saying to him that, look, Ahab, you're gonna be cut off, your children's gonna be cut off. Read that verse one more time.
Behold, I will bring evil upon thee, and I will take away thy prosperity, posterity, and will cut off from Ahab him that pisseth against the wall, and him that is shut up and left
him
in
that pisseth against the wall. What does that part mean?
a dog, right?
Like, what's the him that pisseth against the wall? Why is he going to cut off him? Why is he going to cut off someone that pisses against the wall?
Like I said, I wouldn't know.
So now, when it says it's letting you know that it's going to cut off his prosperity is what? His children.
Right.
And it says, I'm going to cut off him that pisseth against the wall.
Oh. Why so?
So when it says, I'm going to cut off him that pisseth against the wall, how do men piss? Do men piss sitting down or standing up?
Standing up.
So basically what it's saying is, I'm going to cut off all the males in your family. So that's the saying for, you see when a man stands and pisses against the wall?
Yeah.
He's saying, I'm going to cut off all the males in your family. That's what that means.
Right.
So when he says, yo, I'm going to cut off him that pisseth against the wall, this is basically saying, I'm cutting off all the men in your family, because that's how men piss. It's saying, whatever male there is in your family, I'm cutting them off.
Right.
And that when it says him that pisseth against the wall, that's what it means, because that's how men piss, standing up against the wall. So it's basically saying, whoever's a man in your family, I'm going to cut them off.
Right.
So that's what it means. And it says him that pisseth against the wall. Why? Because men stand and piss. So like,
right.
So that's what that's talking about. All right, with that, that brings us to the end of the class. I'm gonna do this security announcements and we out of here. Oh, we out of here. All right, this is the security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When the new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will call each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18 and 21, Malachi chapter 3 and 8 through 10 means 10% in the Hebrew, Ma'ashra, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher, priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. So lucky, I'll get it in a minute. No, it's the Feast of Tabernacles. Remind Akim and Akwaf to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a troop in the school, start wearing all black, boot, shirt, pants, headband, scarf. All right, we're going to stand and give one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, I Majim Shabbat, I Majim Barak, Yahweh Yad Yom Matar. Class dismissed.
Shalom, sir.
All right, shalom, Lord Christ. All right, for what again, Israel. All right, shalom. We'll see you here tomorrow with Officer Karafia. Shalom.
Shalom, sir.
Shalom, Lord Christ.